Cobb City is the Atlantic Public Safety Training Center. It's based in DeKalb County on a place called the South River Forest. It's a training center for cops. The community doesn't want it. Inside the facility, they'll have a shooting range, fire training towers, and a mock city featuring homes and streets, simulating the streets of Atlanta. The training center is estimated to cost around $90 million, a third of which is expected to be paid by taxpayers. Proponents say the center is needed to help boost law enforcement recruitment, retention, and morale in the wake of several staffing shortages in the city. Critics say, besides harming the region's environment, the facility will further strain relations between police, the community, and particularly Atlanta's majority black population. So what they're doing is they got this facility that they want the taxpayers to pay for. And taxpayers don't want to pay for it, right? So they put it in the black community that's already over-policed, knock down the forest, and be damned with the protesters. Manuel Tortuga Turan was shot and killed. He was a protester, peacefully protesting there. So we've had people that have been protesting since the inception of this. They don't want this in their communities. They're exercising their First Amendment rights to protest, to speak out. Put a one up if you heard about this. The cops raid the area, right, to get rid of the protesters, and they say, oh my God, one of the protesters shot at us. They shot Manuel 57 times. Head, body, arms, all extremities. Murdered this young man. We call it a firing squad.
According to the autopsy, the wounds indicate that Manuel's left arm and hand were raised when Manuel was shot, with the palm facing the front of the body. Manuel's right forearm and right hand were also shot. The gunshot to the head would have killed them instantly, but probably, in the words of the report, not before they were able to raise their hands and arms in front of their body, like that. Manuel's legs were shot with shotgun slugs and probably buckshot, leading to the conclusion that two different shotguns were fired at Manuel before they died. The wounds to the legs are consistent with Manuel having been shot while they were sitting down cross-legged. Manuel was likely shot by individuals, according to the report, standing in front of them relatively close. Manuel was looking death in the face, hands raised when killed.
They said they did it because a cop got shot. Turns out it looks like the cop who was shot by another cop. There's no gunpowder residue on the hands of Mr. Manuel after they did an independent autopsy. Oh man, who didn't see that one coming? So yeah, so this facility is so great, it's going to train cops to do exactly what these cops just did. Ain't that ironic? They take taxpayer money to put a facility nobody wants in a place nobody wants it to be, to train more people to do what they just did, which is murder somebody. And my understanding is that we got some citizens that don't know because they watch MSNBC or corporate media or Fox News or whatever. They're not being informed and they're thinking, well, we need, everybody say crime is on the rise. It sounds like somebody who hasn't been informed about all the different ways that crime materializes, how it manifests, and what causes crime. Crime is almost always a direct reflection of the environment that people live in, the lack of resources, the lack of opportunity, the level of desperation of those people. Of course, you're always going to have people that are just, out there, with all the medication we got going on in America, right? We got other issues, but I'm saying primarily we know what causes crime. Having more cops in this facility in this area is not going to prevent it. So anyway, no gunpowder residue on the hands of this man. Independent autopsy said that this man's hands were raised when he was shot multiple times, killed in the firing squad. So it goes without saying, the tragic loss of life, man, is we're very upset about that. But what makes me inspired is the people that are fighting back, right? So we got regular folks, man, just like you and I, man. Just like all you good folks that are watching this broadcast, right? Who come together people always say, oh man, why don't you protest? Why aren't people doing something about what's going on in our communities? All we hear about is BLM and Black Lives Matter, but we don't hear, what about all the other things? Why don't you care? Well, you know what, people do care, but you know what happens? They're underfunded unless it's government sanctioned, unless it's sanctioned by some type of special interest group. How many times have you heard the Democrats or anybody else, or all Republicans, you know, any of them coming out and talking about stopping Cop City? How many times do you hear them reporting on this or trying to initiate and support the effort of the community? It's community-based, right? Who don't want this in their communities. How often do you hear them getting support? So I don't want to hear people saying, we don't band together, we don't do this, we only do this when the cops. No, there are people in Atlanta, there's people all over the country contributing, and people even outside the country who are contributing to the effort, but it's underfunded. So I'm going to put some links out to this show up for you to go visit so that you can be a part of the solution, not the problem. But listen, guys, something historic already happened, man. Something amazing already happened. They needed 70,000 signatures to get this thing, what's called, is it an injunction? It's a legal word for it, right? A referendum, a ballot referendum. Thank you for that. It's a direct vote to repeal the cease to allow them to do this continued construction. These folks, the citizens, the volunteers, the people just like you and I, they don't have wings. They don't got jetpacks and that from the future, man. They collected over 115,000 signatures, man, to stop this thing. So give it up for that. And so we need to support this. We need to support this. Somebody on the call was like, man, you know, what do we need to do about policing? Okay, if the cops say they need more, they need a better facility to train them so they can brutalize us more, whatever they're going to do. Right? I got a problem with us only looking at this one-dimensionally about what we need to do with crime. Do about crime. One of the great speakers on the panel, McCorkle, I think her name was, Bryans McCorkle, that's her name, amazing sister, executive director of the Georgia Conservation Voters, Georgia Conservation Voters. She's amazing. She was speaking to her and she said there's a couple concepts. One of them is restorative justice, right? Everything does not have to be when you go get cops, okay? This is how they programmed us, and this is a major industry that makes a lot of money for the states, okay? But how much does it make us really safer, okay? How much does it really make us safer, man? Cops come after the crime is done, dog, right? So we need to, you know, teach a man how to fish, you know, that type of deal. So anyway, Stop Cop City. What they need is small dollar donations. We need people to share and amplify the message. There's some actions that need to happen. Once again, I'm going to provide the links for it. I was very inspired to be a part of this. I'm hoping I'm not going through this too fast. I'm trying to get up to speed on some of the details myself. But here goes the part that we all can wrap our heads around and understand. Even if you're not living in Atlanta, I need you to realize how important this is, right? Folks, they want to use this as a litmus test to go after all of us. All protests. They are basically trying to outlaw protesting. So what they did was they said, oh, you guys want to protest? You want to get together and protest as a group? Oh, guess what? Hit them with a RICO. You know, the same type of crime they charge, you know, they may charge the mafia with to try to stop the mafia. Oh, yeah, that's what you are, protesters who want to stop something and using your First Amendment rights. Are we going to villainize that? We're going to label that like someone trying to overthrow the government or someone trying to run a criminal organization. And that's what a RICO is, right? A conspiracy to commit a certain act against the law. Since when did it become against the law to protest? So that's what they're trying to do. This is the Georgia Cop City RICO case could threaten the right to protest nationwide. This is said by advocates, not 10 black advocates. On Tuesday, the state attorney general's office announced RICO charges against 61 individuals for their efforts opposing Cop City. Social justice advocates say it's a continued effort to target protesters who participated in the racial justice demonstrations that followed the murder of George Floyd in 2020. And they warn that if the charges are successful, their impact could have a chilling effect that stretches beyond Georgia. So, folks, that's why this matters, man. That's why this matters. So what else? I think that's really all I have right now. I think I gave enough background about Cop City. You know what's going on in this facility for cops. The people don't want it. They're gathering petitions. They need your support to continue to fight against it. There's going to be, they're working on a ballot referendum to put it on the ballot to get, so that if the people don't want it, it shouldn't even be a conversation really. If the people don't want it, the people don't want it, right? You got the signatures of the state citizens, so like we can't sign the petition, right? Only Atlanta residents can sign it, and they got to sign it in person. So it's a lot of work to be done to oppose this thing. You can't just jump on the website and say, hey, I don't want it. So I want to give us, once again, a big shout out to those people, man. Write this name down, Chris Carr. He's the Georgia Attorney General. The Republican Georgia Attorney General, Chris Carr, is the one who hit the RICO charges on the 61 people. Manuel Esteban Paez Terán was the brother that was killed. That's all I got, guys.
Please support groups that are resisting Cop City in Atlanta, such as the Atlanta Solidarity Fund and the fundraiser for Tortuguita's family support, the Stop City movement, by going to stopcopcitysolidarity.org. The movement to defend the Weelaunee Forest and Stop Cop City has grown into an international alliance. Cop City will never be built. Be a part of it. Today, share this video with all your friends. Thanks, Tim Black family.